How do you build a network, run a profitable business, and make an impact? Oh, and have a personal life at the same time? That's the question, and this podcast is the answer. I'm your host, Chaz Wilson, husband, father of five, author of the book 5+1, president and co-founder of Master Networks Inc., a national networking organization. Look, each week I bring you successful entrepreneurs who will share success strategies of how to effectively build a network, add valuable wisdom to your journey, and help you succeed. Welcome to Connect, Share, and Prosper. All right, everybody, welcome to Connect, Share, and Prosper. I'm so excited today to have my guest, upcoming Connect speaker, breakout speaker. Last year, one of our keynotes. So excited to have you back again. I have Tonja Waring on our show. Tonja, welcome to Connect, Share, Prosper. Thank you. So I want to read this just to help our audience know a little bit about who you are. I have this book that we gave away last year at Connect. You are the Manifesting Mindset Consultant for executives, entrepreneurs, and industry leaders. Now, this is what's fascinating, everybody. She has sold $50 million plus on TV as an infomercial host, over 30 guest appearances on QVC, and is the mother of three. And we happen to be basically neighbors. We live in the same area in Texas, right?
Right.
So, welcome to the show. What I want to jump into right away, and I want our people watching to understand, I mean, the title of this book is The Power of Manifesting. So I want to jump into manifesting first, and we'll come back and find out a little bit more. But right away, so those who are watching who maybe only have a few minutes, or they're listening in their car and they want to jump right into the meat of this, of manifesting. First of all, what is it? What is manifesting, and how did you kind of understand the power of manifesting that you could use in your life?
Okay, so I define manifesting as bringing thought into reality. Right? So we have a thought, and then it comes into being. And I really started to study, how can I do this easier and more effectively? So I noticed that sometimes I could manifest and sometimes I couldn't. So what was the difference between when I could and when I couldn't? And how could I streamline the process so I could get my manifesting percentage up? And that's how I came up with the manifesting process, and that's what the power of manifesting is about.
So you kind of took this trial and error, if you will, of your own modeling of manifesting, and then you created some steps to manifesting, right? So what's one step? Where do I start? Right, I'm listening to this and I'm like, okay, the power of manifesting. Number one, where do I start, and why is this important?
Okay, so the number one thing in manifesting is to get clear on what it is that you want. That's the first step. And when I'm working with people, clients, just even talking to people every day, when I ask, what do you want? It just befuddles some people because they don't take the time. And when we think about it, we have infinite possibilities for what we want. Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we look to the past for what we want. Okay, I have a math degree, therefore I should get a job with math, And so we're looking at the past and what we think is the natural progression versus just stopping and going, you know what? I really like that Chaz Wilson guy. There's something about him that I really like. What is it? And we're taught not to be jealous or envious.
Yeah.
But when that comes up, I go, wow, what is it that I like about him? You know what? You know what I like about him? I like how he dresses. I just like how he carries himself. And I want to carry myself like that. It could be that. It could be that, oh, he travels. That's what I like about him. Oh, I need to bring more travel into my life. Hey, you know what I like? I like that he speaks. Oh, I need more speaking in my life. So those are clues that can get us clear on what we want, even if we have none of that in our past.
So the interesting thing is you're getting clear about the positive things in people, where most people often look at somebody and they like default, they go to what they don't like about the person, right?
Absolutely. So that's always going to get in our way, right? Because we look at what I don't want. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want this. And it's like, but what do you want?
Yeah.
And so I always call, when I have a really bad day, I call it, I had a clarity session day. Because when it goes the way I don't want, then it's like, hey, what about this would I like to have had differently? And I'm in that constant inquisitive mindset of almost like a kid every day of what would I like, what would I do differently, what would I like more of.
So why do you think people struggle in getting clear in what they want?
I think it goes all the way back to when we're 3 to 5 years old. Because we're defining our independence, and as little kids we'll say what we want, and it's been shown that kids are told no 300 to 500 times a day in those ages. So we're actually in that stage of defining what it is we want. We're told no, 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 you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. So now as adults we go to get clear on what we want, and those records play in our mind. Parents, well-meaning friends, well-meaning business associates. We go, why can't you do that? Right? I can't have that. What are you laughing about?
So my team's laughing at me because literally, and I did this last week, we've got to check the schedule on this. So Mondays at noon when we do this live, every time I kick the show off, the guy with the leaf blower comes around my window. I don't know if everyone can hear it. Like, so everyone started laughing because here he is blowing the leaves. Like, it's been quiet all morning. As soon as I go live with you, the leaf blower goes off. So that's what we're laughing at. The whole team's laughing. So no, you were spot on though. Like, I think about, I mean, you and I had a conversation one time in Colorado about getting clarity around what I wanted, right? And it was like, what is it about giving ourselves permission that is so tough for us to like get clear about what we want, right? Like, what is so tough about that?
And you said it perfectly, giving ourselves permission.
Yeah.
And I recently was working with someone, and she had this desire for her real estate company to be a particular way. And she kept saying, I wanted to do this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And she gave me all the reasons why she couldn't. And I said, do you understand that your soul wants you to have this type of real estate company? And if you don't do it today, 10 years from now, it's still going to be nagging you. That nagging voice that we keep saying no to, no to, no to, we got to do it. It's the only way that we're going to move through it, even if it's one day that we say yes to ourselves and then we discover, no, that really wasn't it.
Yeah.
When you have that nagging thing, you owe it to yourself to move forward because you have a particular desire. You have some energetic mojo that's going to go along with that, that's going to propel you forward.
And do you find that when people start to move, I mean, I see that in my own life, I see where when you start to move towards that, right, the authenticity lines up, all of those things, but then all of a sudden you start to attract really high level people because you're in that space where you're supposed to be moving towards.
Right, and it gets so much easier.
Yeah.
The things that we keep telling ourselves we should do, I have to do this. With, and we just, it's like going through that clay mud, right? We just can't get any momentum with it.
Yeah.
And I think my greatest gift as a coach is to look at people and see where they're struggling. And energetically, as they're talking, I can hear that they have no energy there.
Yeah.
And then you can hear when they get excited about something and they might be telling themselves why they can't, but you start to work through giving them permission to do it and encouragement to do it. And man, they just take off and it's so exciting. And it's right where they're meant to be.
And that's why it's exciting, because that's where they're supposed to be. That's where they're supposed to be playing in that sandbox versus the other one, right? So guys, if you're just joining us, we're on the Connect, Share, Prosper show. I've got my guest Tonja Waring, who, like, I'm so excited that not only is she on this show, but she's coming back to Connect. Thank you. Not only are you coming as a breakout speaker, but you're a sponsor at Connect. So what is it about, if you can just tell those listening, because we have a few seats left, like literally VIP sold out, preferred sold out. We have a few general admission seats left. What is it from your perspective as a speaker now wanting to be a sponsor? Why are you coming to say, I want to be involved in Connect at such a high level?
It has to do with the quality of people. It's my connections that I've made throughout my career and attending personal development type of conferences, and the people I've met, it's exponential. The sooner you can come into an event like that and meet someone, and it's only one person sometimes, that'll open up a whole new area of business for me or a whole new way of thinking. Hey, Chaz, I brought my notebook here for this conversation because when you and I get together, it sparks an idea for me. So I'm on this call for me as much as for our audience today.
Oh,
because I get to to have a conversation with Chaz, right?
Well, thank you for that.
Right. And so that's why I sponsor and attend events. I believe in master networks wholeheartedly. So it's a privilege to sponsor.
Thank you. By the way, I feel the same way. In fact, we've created a course together. We did last year, a mastermind together based on the things we collaborated. So there's always this amazing thing. Guys, if you have questions, if you're listening live here on Facebook and you have questions for Tonja or myself, go ahead and put those in, and we'll try to get those here at the end of the show after we're done recording. We'll hit those questions. So take us back for a second. How have you used the power of manifesting? I mean, I've heard you share your story, and I think it's worth sharing with our audience. How have you used manifesting to, I mean, you were at a place where you needed to get on a platform of where you needed to be, and you were looking, and then someone got introduced into your life that you weren't even sure you should take that chance with, right? And how did you use manifesting to sort of deploy your network to find your next opportunity?
Well, I got interested in manifesting. Well, I'm a feng shui practitioner of 20 years, which is how you design your office space or your home to create what it is that you want. So there was that concept. Then The Secret came out in 2006.
Yes.
And I watched it probably 60 times. Again, just with that desire to really understand how all of this works. Mm-hmm. Found myself having some success. Like I built a real estate company in 2 states overnight. That was my success with the law of attraction. Guess what though? I plummeted when the real estate market crashed in 2008. And that's the moment you were talking about. I went through bankruptcy, foreclosure, divorce, and found myself going, I don't know how I'm going to get myself out of this. Mm. And one morning, because I had put out about 200 resumes, along with 30,000 other real estate friends in Minnesota at that time looking for work, and nobody was hiring me. And that was a time of newspapers, when you opened up the newspaper and you went through the job listings, and it's like, I can't do that. Oh, don't believe in that. And I went, I have a super high level of integrity, and I want something I can sell that I believe in. I don't know what possessed me, but I stood up off the couch and I said, look, God, I'm smart, beautiful, talented, and I want you to bring me something that's worthy of who I am. I want to sell something that is 100% integrity, so I never have to hold back in my beliefs or concern. I just want to be able to go, right?
You got clear. You got clear. Yeah.
I was so clear. And a week later, someone in my network said, hey, there's this pillow guy, and he's, this is a great product, and they need you. And it was Mike Lindell of My Pillow. Mm. And then I'm thinking, this is not what I was looking for.
Yeah.
A pillow? This is not what I'm looking for. But I kept hearing this voice that said, no, this is it. This is what you asked for. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
I ended up writing one of the most profitable newspaper ads that was in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today. I became their infomercial host, working with Mike. And I worked with Mike directly for 3 years. So I really understood everything. Best thing is, I had been in 2 car accidents, and that pillow actually really transformed my life because I had migraines every 3 days. So asking for something that I totally believed in, I believe in My Pillow. People will ask me today, do you believe? I believe in it.
Yeah.
I love it. I have no problems ever selling someone a My Pillow. It may or may not work for them, but I never have a problem selling it.
My wife and I are customers. We have My Pillow. That's what we use. Yeah.
I mean, it was so much more than I even imagined when I asked for it.
Yeah.
I got clear on what I wanted, and I wanted to know, how did I do that? How exactly did I do that, and how can I teach others to do that?
So you gave us the first step on getting clear, which I think sometimes people like, oh, that's so simple, just get clear, right? It can't be that simple, just get clear. But if you hadn't been clear on what you were looking for and who might come into your life, I always say you're one relationship away from changing your future. And the two of you, probably for both of you, you are each the relationship at the same time.
Absolutely.
Which is interesting, right?
Absolutely. And so the second step is ask and it's given. Ask out loud. And that's what I did. I mean, I stood up and I asked. And then the third step is surrender to the higher voice. Because I didn't want to do it. The logical Tonja said this is not the right thing.
Why did you not want to do it?
Mike had come off a 30-year cocaine addiction, and he was very fresh in recovery. And I just thought, I was on the floor myself, going through bankruptcy, foreclosure, divorce, 3 little kids. How am I going to feed them? I wasn't in my highest and best space at that time. And I thought, Jim Rohn, the great philosopher, was playing in my head. You need to surround yourself with the top 5 people, right? And I'm going, crack addiction, cocaine addiction. This is like, that's what I was afraid of, right? That's what I was afraid of. But I surrendered to that higher voice that said, look, this is it. This is what you asked for. And then I took inspired action.
Yes.
From that intuition, that inner self, not my logical self.
And so you had some trust there, obviously, with your own voice, that inner voice that said,
faith.
Yeah.
By this time, I had already kind of stepped out of the norm of people in my life, of how I was raised. I was no longer normal.
Yeah.
I was no longer like everybody else.
Right. What's
and
normal?
There's never a crowd on the leading edge.
Ooh,
Just
that's
remember,
good.
there's never a crowd on the leading edge. When you're stepping out there, people aren't going to believe in you.
Right.
People didn't believe in the manifesting mindset. I was telling people about this and I understanding it, but I had no huge success. And it's only in that look that I did this. I sold $50 million on TV. I wrote one of the most profitable newspaper ads. I became an infomercial host. Now people go, how did she do that? From bankruptcy, foreclosure to divorce in 2 years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
In 2 years, all of that. And it's the manifesting mindset. So now I have that credibility.
Oh, you guys.
I already stepped out of anything normal because I was not going to be that single mom who was resentful, suffering, broke. No.
Yeah.
No, not Tonja.
Yeah. So you had a big why that was driving it too.
Yeah. I wanted to raise my kids in prosperity and in mindset.
Yeah.
No victim here.
And
we're
so
self-responsible.
How has that shown up now with them? I know I know a little bit about your kids and I follow the things that they're doing now, but so one thing is not just what you changed in that moment, but how has that affected what that's done for the view from your children?
Okay, I'm going to use my son as an example.
Yeah.
So he's a wrestler, and I always this is just how I get from my kids, right? But nobody believed he could be a Division I wrestler.
Yeah.
And I remember his senior year, and we were sitting down and we were looking at schools, and I said, James, I believe you can be a Division I wrestler. And I go, I believe that. Would you like that? And he said, yeah, Mom, I would like that. And so we applied to all these Division I schools. And truly we knew he wasn't going to get a scholarship for that, but he ended up going to West Virginia, got a full academic ride scholarship, or as close to full as they offer.
Yeah.
He walked on as a wrestler. They got a new coach. Through a set of circumstances, he wasn't like the first choice for his weight class.
Yeah.
But dedicated leadership, hard work, great grades. And the second half of the year, he has been the wrestler, Division I for West Virginia.
Wow.
And I know it's all manifesting, and I know that he saw that. He may not have understood the process, but I got him clear on what he wanted.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. He truly got his butt handed to him this year. It was a very difficult year as a freshman. There really aren't freshmen who go and wrestle Division I.
Right.
It was humbling, but that wasn't what we asked for.
Yep.
We just asked for him to be a Division I wrestler. We didn't say superstar, because really our first desire, his desire, is to be he's going to be an industrial engineer.
Yeah.
That's number one. Wrestler was bonus.
Yeah.
Bonus.
So you were able to teach him the same process.
Yes.
That he's now put into practice to, be this Division I wrestler. What an awesome thing. It's interesting when you and I first met and you walked me through the things in this book, The Power of Manifesting. You went through those steps, get clear. And I remember what's interesting is I thought, when I would hear of manifesting before, and maybe some people listening felt this way too, I thought, well, is that just like hocus pocus kind of thing? No, I just didn't know it, right? But then when you defined it, this is the steps of what it is, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing that all this time, but not knowing that was the process I was doing it in.
Right. And it's so practical.
Yes.
And what I love about the book, and I wrote the book, but I feel like the book came through me as a gift to give people, right? So it's clarity. It's like, here's how the process works. If things aren't, like if you get stuck in a particular point in manifesting what it is you want, there's a practical step. There's a practical to action step that you need to go back to or move forward through. And things will open up.
So it's interesting. You taught us this. I'm going to tell you this fun story for those listening. So Tonja teaches us this process, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is stuff we've been doing, but here's how we make it better. And as you said, here's how we go back if we need to fix something. And so a couple people from my team and you, we were at this conference in Colorado, and a few of us went to dinner. You were with another group. We were with this group. We go to dinner. This is a funny story. And the hotel van takes us to dinner, and they had another lady that they went and dropped off, and he said, I'll be back later. And we were sitting there eating, and after like 2 hours, we literally said, I said, I bet it's time to go back. We should get up and we should call the van driver to come get us. We left the table, we stood up, we walked. I mean, I opened the door and the van pulled up. We hadn't called him, we didn't say a word, and he pulled up. And we all looked at each other and we started laughing. And I think someone said, oh my gosh, that's manifesting, right? Like we just said it out loud. We stood up, we were clear on what we wanted. And the guy pulls up. We get in the car and he said that the other lady had called him, right? It wasn't us, but the other lady had called him. And then the funny part was he kept calling her back and she wasn't where she said she was and he couldn't find her. And anyway, so he took us back to the hotel. And we walk in and you're sitting in the front. We're like, we have to tell you what just happened. And we're like, this is crazy. And you were like, no, it's what you asked for. It's what you said. Right. I said, you're not going to believe this. And you said, yeah, I will. Because it happens all the time.
So this is such a key point, Chaz. So the sixth step is celebrate your success.
Yes.
So when you start to see, hey, I manifested this, celebrate it and go, this is real. This is how it happens. But what we normally do, we go, it's weird. It's unbelievable. Right. It's crazy. And so then we kind of push our abilities away. Because we don't honor it by going, wow, I manifested. Somewhere, I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened, but I was ready to go to the hotel. It shows up. I'm back. It was awesome. Let's celebrate. Let's have some fun with this.
Yeah.
So what a great lesson.
Yeah, it was good for all of us to experience that. So we kind of skipped some of the steps. So I want to go back through them, right? So get clear on what you want is number one, right? Yep. Then ask.
Yep, ask and it's given.
Go ahead, your steps. I jumped all over you. Go ahead.
I jumped all over you. Thanks. Surrender to the higher voice. Take inspired action is number 4. Receive to overflowing.
I love this one.
Is so crucial. We've been taught that there's limited abundance. That if I don't finish my plate, the kids in Africa are going to starve. Anybody hear that one?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
If I do this, then they won't have it.
Yeah.
I say abundance is like sunshine. Okay. If I go out in the sun and I roll up my sleeves, I'm like, ooh, I like that sun. I want to get more. Ooh, I'm going to roll up my pant legs too. And maybe my 10 minutes turns into half an hour and I'm soaking up as much as I can. And then I walk out my door and, see my neighbor and Suzanne, my neighbor, just says, hey, Tonja, did you take my sun today? I noticed that you were taking a lot of sun. And it's like, no, abundance is abundance like sunshine. So no matter how much we take and receive for ourselves, it's all there for everybody else.
Yeah.
The more that I receive for myself, the more permission I give for others to receive for themselves.
So the difference, though, in that analogy between you and I is when I got to 10 minutes, I have to stop. See, you could keep going. I can't. I get burned. So that's the difference between you and I at 10 minutes or 30 minutes in the sun, right?
Yeah. But it's funny how we live in such a limited mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
And when we allow ourselves to receive, the doors open up even more. And one of my aha moments on receiving, I realized I was fearful of receiving a great deal of money because I thought somehow I would have to change. I'd have to get a bigger house, drive a different car. And all of a sudden, my aha moment was no matter how much I receive financially, I can still drive my 2006 minivan. Because I like the minivan.
Right.
I liked it. There's something about it. I love shopping at Ross Dress for Less.
Yeah.
And when I realized no matter how much I receive, Tonja Waring is Tonja Waring. And I've gotten so real and authentic with myself at this point, which is years in the process of making, right?
Yes, for sure.
Just really understanding who I am and what I love and what's important to me, that no matter how much I have or don't have, no matter how much I allow or don't allow, what you see is what you get.
So I love this step. Thank you for sharing that. I love this step, the ask. It's, you read asking shall receive, right? But yet some of us are really good at asking it and some of us are not very good at receiving, many of us, right? And that was something that I really took from what you've taught is if I asked for it, then I need to let it come to me, right? And not block that and say, oh no, I'm good. No, you asked for this, now it's showing up. It's almost disrespectful to sort of ask for it, have that and surrender to that higher power, and then it shows up and you're like, no, I don't need it.
Right. And we have in our society a lot of people who are addicted to giving.
Yeah.
They somehow think it makes them better just to give. So no matter what comes in, they just quickly give it away. And then sometimes I notice that resentment builds up because their cup is empty. They haven't fully received.
Yes.
So they're giving because they think that's what they need to do, should do, have to do. When you receive to overflowing, whether it's doing what you love or just feeling fulfilled, and then you give from joy. You give from, oh my gosh, I have so much for myself. I want to give more to you.
Yes.
And I realized that I'm a much more generous, authentic giver. And I can do so much more. The more I receive, the more joy, the more happiness, the just making sure Tonja Waring is at her absolute best, health-wise, doing what I love, living the life that I always wanted for myself. I can do so much more good on the planet than I can when I used to be addicted to giving and would never allow someone to give to me. Just always pushing it away.
Such a good lesson. And I think that place gives you power, right? That clarity of who you are and what you're doing and what you're asking for gives you power. It's interesting that last at Connect, you did such an amazing job delivering that powerful message. I had a few people come up to me afterwards in tears, and they're like, "Thank you," and I was like, "Well, for what?" And they're like, "For having Tonja here because she changed my life." She said the message was just for me. Several people have said that. What she said was just for me. And I think that's because you've moved to a place that you got clear on what you want, how to get there, and then because of that, it gave you power to deliver the message you need to deliver. So guys, if you're listening to this, I think one of the things I'm taking away is that we need to get clear on what we want. Too many days we're going through the motions, just going through the motions and almost afraid to ask and say it out loud of what we want and get clear on what we want because somehow it might actually happen, and right? So really powerful. Guys, if you have questions, make sure you ask them here if you're listening live. If you're listening to this recording, Tonja, how can they find you? How can they connect with you?
So you can connect with me at Connect, which
exactly.
I'm really excited about. I'm on Facebook. I'm all over Facebook and Instagram. You can go to Tonja.com, TONJA.com.
Yep.
And, but I want to make one point that really, as you were talking about getting clear on what you want and asking for it, a lot of times what makes our relationships so difficult is we don't ask for what we want. And the person on the other side is dancing around trying to figure out what it is that we want because people really want us to be happy. If we could start asking authentically for what we want, it provides such a relief for the other people we're in relationship with because now they're not trying to, is it flowers that she wants? Is it this that she wants? Is it this what he wants? I don't know what he wants. I just want to make him happy, but I don't know what he wants.
So true.
Right? And then we can just go, this is what I want. This is what I want. Great. This is how I'm going to help you get what you want. You can help me get what we want. And
right.
Wow, now we can just relax.
It's the whole, so where do you want to eat? I don't know, where do you want to eat? I don't know, I feel like Mexican food. Well, okay, great, I guess. Well, what do you want? I don't know, Mexican sounds fine. No, it's like, let's just get clear on what you want. Maybe we'll agree to different or agree to one, but like, you're so spot on. The clearer I get in asking for what I want and being honest about that, it actually not just helps me, but it helps the other people in my life. in my relationships. So good.
Yeah. Yep.
So guys, listen, this, what I've learned from today and a couple things is that, you know, as you're building a network and connecting with others, that's what this is about. Connect, share, and prosper. As you build a network, you know, it's important to get clear on who you want in your network and who can help you get where you want to go. There's people that have already walked the path. You know, Tonja is a great example of that. You should connect with her and get to know her and her amazing spirit of energy. And like the thing that I see in you, like when I have a vision of you in my mind, it's like this is a woman who knows who she is and knows where she's going. Even if you don't know where you're going, we assume you know where you're going, right?
Some days I do, some days I don't.
Right.
But it's percentages.
Yes.
You know, most times I'm pretty clear on what I'm doing, and then I achieve it, and then you go back to zero, and it's like, okay, what's next, right?
Yes.
Using this process over and over and over.
So good. Any last tips you want to share with the people listening, watching today?
Give yourself permission to do what you love.
Yeah.
And figure that out. And don't be afraid to be specific. You know, I meet people in real estate, and it's like, who do you want to work with in real estate? Everybody. No, you don't, because there are people you do not enjoy working with. Get them out, get clear on who you really love working with. Of course, you can sell real estate to anybody.
Yeah, right.
Right? But be clear on what your ideal business is, what kind of conversations you want to have. What is your day going to look like when you wake up in the morning? What are you most passionate about? If you could do anything you ever wanted, what would you do?
And by the way, who would show up to give you permission anyway? Like
the magic wand.
Yeah.
That's what I start with. I go, there's a magic wand. Here, bing.
Yeah.
You know, in 18 months you can do whatever you want.
I'm always waiting for someone else to give you permission. There's no one that's coming to give you permission except you. So powerful. So good. So many lessons today. And I think the thing is that, you know, if you listen to what Tonja said, she shared with you how she's connected, right? She connected with Mike Lindell because she got clear on that. And when it showed up, she surrendered to that. She received it. And look what that did for both of them, right? And there's been more relationships like that have shown up in your life, I'm sure. And then you've shared the tremendous blessings that you have and the power and clarity you have. You've shared that message with others, and that has helped you prosper. That's connect, share. Not only that, you live in Prosper. You live in Prosper, Texas. So
Prosper,
you're prospering all the time. So thank you for that wisdom. Powerful. Guys, you need to connect with Tonja. Hit her website, her social media, see her at Connect. Tonja, thank you so much for being our guest today on Connect, Share, and Prosper.
I love it. So thank you for having me. Really
You
a
are
pleasure.
welcome. Thank you, guys. And until next time, next week, right? So follow us here. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Be here next week, Monday at noon. Every week, Monday at noon, we bring to you top entrepreneurs who are in the business of helping you grow your business. They help you learn how to connect with others and build your network, how to share the gifts and talents that you have, and how to prosper and be successful and build a legacy beyond the business. Now, make sure you connect with us on social media. Remember, Connect is around the corner. We're nearly sold out. We just have a few seats left. Can't wait to see you at Connect. See you next week on Connect, Share, and Prosper.
Thank you so much, Chaz.